1996 seems like such a long time ago. Now, I remember 1996 like it was yesterday, even though, like I said, it it really seems like a long time ago. 1996 was the year I released a record called Hey You Knuckleheads for those in Baltimore that remember that. 1996, Hammerjacks here in Baltimore was popping. Paradox was popping. There was a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. Record stores was popping. 1996. 1996 was also the year that Tupac Shakur was murdered. 1996. It's been a long time. 27 years. And last week, a man was charged with the murder of Tupac Shakur. Las Vegas police arrested Keefe D, the man charged in Tupac Shakur's 1996 shooting death. He has long put himself at the crime scene. He's done it for a long time. Done interviews, and those of you out there who may know this, there is no statute of limitations on murder. But for whatever reason, he's put himself out there over the years. As far back as 1998, Dwayne Keith Davis, Keefe D, was telling a cable channel that he was a front seat passenger in a car from which a fellow passenger fired the shots that killed Tupac. In 2009, Davis, known as Keefe D, confessed to police a role in the case. A former detective who investigated the shooting told news outlets. Now, authorities did not immediately use that information. Like I said, that goes back to 2009. And then after what police said was a reinvigorated investigation, Davis, who is now 60 years old, was arrested in Las Vegas on last Friday. Now, a grand jury indicted him on the case, charges of murder, use of a deadly weapon. The arrest comes, as I said, 27 years after Tupac was shot as he was leaving the boxing match, going to a after party on the Vegas Strip. September the 7th, 1996 was a retaliatory attack on the 25-year-old star, police said on Friday. Authorities alleged that Davis plotted and orchestrated the shooting in a matter of hours after the rapper and others, including Suge Knight, attacked Davis's nephew in the MGM Grand Hotel. Orlando Anderson is the nephew. Davis is the only suspect in the case that is still alive, according to police. Davis has said in his memoir that he is one of two living witnesses, with the other being a record label boss who was driving with Shakur, talking about Suge Knight. So police said that over the last 5 years, we've conducted countless interviews and corroborated numerous facts that were not only consistent with the crime scene on the night of the incident, but corroborated and were consistent with the sequence of events that night. Jason Johansson, the Las Vegas police homicide lieutenant, said during a news conference on Friday. Wow. I mean, I thought this case would not have any leads. I didn't think there were going to be any changes. I thought it was just going to be one of those things that just went unanswered. Police said that Davis was the shot caller. Tupac's shooting stems from a conflict between two gangs based in Compton, California, according to the police. Now, Shakur and Suge Knight, then the CEO of the rapper's Death Row Records label, were affiliated with the Mob Piru gang in Compton, police said. Davis was affiliated with the Southside Compton Crips. They added Shakur was in Las Vegas to attend the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand Hotel. Now, this event was also attended by Davis and his nephew, Orlando Anderson. After the match, members of Death Row Records saw Anderson near an elevator bank inside the hotel, approached him, and began kicking and punching him. According to police, now they showed the hotel surveillance footage of the altercation, which many folks have seen. Shakur and Suge Knight were visible among the men who attacked Orlando Anderson. Both crews left the hotel after the fight, with Shakur and his group headed to a fight party at a nightclub. When Davis learned of the attack on his nephew, he began to devise a plan to obtain a firearm and retaliate against Suge and Mr. Shakur. After securing a gun from a close associate, Davis got into a white Cadillac with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. While in the car, Davis handed the gun to the passengers in the rear seat of the vehicle. Eventually, the group tracked down the car Tupac and Suge were in, drove alongside their black BMW, and gunshots were fired from the Cadillac into the BMW, striking Tupac 4 times. The rapper died 6 days later. So Dwayne Davis, Keefe D, was the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed the crime. He orchestrated the plan that was carried out to commit this crime, according to the indictment. So Anderson and Smith were both in the back of the Cadillac, according to the indictment. It does not specify who pulled the trigger. Anderson denied involvement in the killing prior to his death in a gang-related shooting in 1998. Suge Knight is in prison on manslaughter charge in an unrelated case. But Davis, as I said, placed himself at the crime scene. It's a very strange thing. I thought that gangsters moved in silence, but this gangster seemingly wanted attention. In 1998, during an interview with BET, Davis said he was in the front seat of the car from which the shots were fired. Going to keep it for the code of the streets, Davis said when asked who pulled the trigger. It just came from the back seat, bro. Then, more than a decade later, Davis confessed to police a role in the shooting in 2009. Now, his statement could not be used as evidence because it was made under a proffer agreement. A proffer is an agreement in which the suspect agrees to provide potentially useful information in an investigation, but the statements made generally cannot be used as evidence against the suspect. Now, there's also a memoir which Davis wrote, a copy of which was seized in July during a police search of the Nevada home of Davis's wife. Describes Davis and Knight as the only two living witnesses to Shakur's shooting. So they searched his home. Police seized several tablets, an iPhone, and 5 computers. Authorities also took USB and hard drives, photographs, and a copy of a magazine issue about Shakur. Now, at the time, police were looking for notes, writings, ledgers, and other handwritten or typed documents concerning television shows, documentaries, YouTube episodes, book manuscripts, and movies concerning the murder of Tupac. An affidavit requesting a search warrant stated. I mean, Keefe D, Dwayne Davis, has talked himself right into jail. Now, the decades-old case gained new focus in 2018, particularly because Dwayne Davis was talking about it publicly, and the emergence of new evidence, new information, his own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets helped to reignite the investigation. He participated in a 2018 Netflix documentary on the Shakur homicide. He released his book in 2019. He began going out publicly to boast about his involvement in the murder. And that led to law enforcement in Las Vegas taking another look at his claims. And ultimately, he talked himself right into jail. They said that this was likely their last time to take a run at this case to successfully solve it and bring forth a criminal charge. So, this guy ran his mouth, and a Nevada grand jury indicts this self-proclaimed witness to the shooting. Tupac's family is, I'm sure that they're happy about this. The timing of the arrest is interesting. Law enforcement, documentary filmmakers, and Tupac's family are all weighing in on someone finally being arrested for the rapper's murder, as I said, which happened in 1996. So Friday, new murder indictment was handed down by this Nevada grand jury, and police arrest a 60-year-old Dwayne Keefe D. Davis outside of his home. So he's facing an open murder charge, and Clark County District Judge Jerry Weiss has denied bail. He has denied bail. It seems like he wanted to get the credit. He wanted to word it carefully enough for him to avoid being arrested, but it seems like he wanted credit. As I said, there's several documentaries. The murder rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac murders. Murder rap came out in 2015. Then Unsolved, which is on Netflix, that comes out. Other people are telling his story. I think he decided, I want to tell my story. Everybody else is telling it. Then when nothing happened after the BET series in 2018, it seems like he felt maybe a false sense of security. I guess they don't care, or I guess I was careful enough with the way I worded it. They won't come at me. So he started doing more interviews and talking crazy. Chris Carroll is a retired Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department sergeant. he was the last person to speak with Tupac before he died. He said Davis' statements have been frustrating law enforcement for years. Why did this take so long? Over the course of the years, police knew what happened, and they just, I guess, didn't have the final piece of the puzzle. Now they have a guy who, over the last 5 years, has been openly going on all kinds of media about murder of Tupac Shakur. Wrote this book which detailed his role in the murder. And it comes to a point where I guess the police are just sitting by and listening to this guy brag about committing a murder and not being charged with anything. So for the Shakur family, I'm sure that there are still some questions. I'm sure that there were some questions. Timing. Now, I know that they have to appreciate the accountability for the family, but this is far from over. This is far from over. You know, the world was robbed of what this great artist could have become. You know, I definitely have to say, when I heard this information, I was definitely taken aback that Tupac was such an influential person for artists of a certain age, and I happen to be of a certain age. But it is important that the world, the country, the judicial system, and our people acknowledge the gravity of the passing of this. He was 25 years old. Several of Tupac's friends have also released statements, including Jada Pinkett, who said that she hoped that she could get answers and have closure. Flavor Flav posted on IG that it's poetic justice for my man. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out legally when the primary witnesses against the defendant is actually the defendant himself. This is going to be a very unique, very, very unique case in the legal realm. How do you prosecute this? This is going to be very intriguing. They're going to be using a lot of footage. At the end of the day, I'm sure the Shakur family, friends, fans just want justice to be served. So brace yourselves for the outcome of this trial, whatever it's going to be. Everybody get your popcorn. I feel like there are a lot of things at play here. A lot of things at play. We are definitely moving in uncharted territory. Uncharted territory. I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out. Definitely. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. But Keefe D just talked himself right into jail. And it is something else. It is something else. I want justice. I want them to take this case seriously, and hopefully it is not one of those instances where, have you ever heard the expression that a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich, meaning that a grand jury is going to indict anything and anybody. So with that being said, is this a case that is winnable? We'll have to see. But you know, time's going to tell. Time's going to tell. Of course, listen to the Diamond K radio show here at On Fire TV. Radio on Fire, of course, on YouTube, on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can get the podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, just search The Diamond K Show. So, a very interesting debate has come up. Special Ed and the Dog Pound, they debate this claim of NWA bringing destruction to hip hop. Did NWA bring destruction to hip hop? So, Special Ed, the rapper, I Got It Made, remember that? The Mission, Think About It. He had some big hits in the 80s. He went viral for his comments about NWA. So NWA and Special Ed had their primes around the same time. He said that NWA was responsible for introducing destruction into hip hop. Since then, many have reacted to Special Ed's comments. Exhibit has reacted, and Special Ed and the Dog Pound have discussed the comments with the New York rapper, explaining and debating his point with the legendary West Coast rap group. He said that my point was basically NWA used for the era that we're in now. Saying that they used, I don't know, saying that they were the ones who introduced violence or introduced destruction into the landscape, I think is taking things a bit far. I think it's taking things a bit far, right? Did they popularize gangster rap? Did they help bring it forward? Special Ed said that we're in the era of destruction. We're destroying ourselves as a hip hop community, period. We've got teenagers out here killing each other, every state, every urban city, over hip hop music, over tweets, over social media. Special Ed said, that's my point. None of this existed before the FBI got involved. So this discussion found Corrupt reacting to Ed's FBI comments, saying, you MFing right, they did. That's what we do on the West Coast. We push that line. The rapper continued, don't be mad at us, though, because you say we ruined something, like ruined hip hop. We took hip hop to a different world. NWA took hip hop up top. Ed continued to speak on how the introduction of the FBI to the world of hip hop negatively impacted participants of the culture, specifically Black people. The point made by Ed about the government would eventually find Corrupt and Daz sharing views that mirrored each other. Now, NWA talked about things that they saw in their neighborhood. So to say that NWA brought destruction to hip hop, NWA was only speaking about what was happening in the world. They didn't create those things. They didn't create what they were talking about in their music. They brought it to the forefront and they included it in their art. NWA did not destroy hip hop. NWA did not destroy these communities. The poverty, the helplessness, the hopelessness, the racism, the police brutality, these things have caused destruction in our communities, and our artists are bringing it to the world through their music. Now, fans of hip hop have reacted in various ways to the inclusion of these storytelling and musical compositions. And yes, people take things further than they need to go on some instances. But that's not because of the music. That's definitely not because of the music. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. ONFIRE-TV, Radio on Fire. I am here weekdays, 6 to 9 p.m. Of course, you can check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And if you want to support this movement, you can go to ONFIRE-TV.com. The Diamond K Radio Show, breaking news, politics, and hip-hop culture, of course, as I said, weekdays, 6 to 9 p.m. You can unlock everything that On Fire TV has to offer at onfire-tv.com/join. You can support what we do here by clicking that link, making a donation, and the such. Because if you are tired of lies, you want to hear the truth, the Diamond K Show delivers honest and edgy discussions on important political, cultural, and entertainment topics. I'm tackling the hottest issues Monday through Friday. And it is not a game. Also, wanted to shout out Beyonce. The Beehive, this is for y'all. Since the release of Renaissance, fans have been asking Beyonce for visuals, but she has yet to deliver. And it seems though these requests are about to be granted because according to reports, Beyonce is in talks to release a concert film exclusively through AMC theaters. Oh, she is doing it. She is doing it on a major level. Sources with direct knowledge of the deal say that Beyonce and AMC are reportedly near an official agreement to distribute the film worldwide at AMC theaters, according to Variety. Mega agency CAA held preliminary talks with major studios and streamers 2 weeks ago. Another source added, urging the players to be ready to bid on a project that the icon has been developing for years, one that would include elements of her top-grossing 2023 live shows, elements of the visual Renaissance album, and a documentary-style account of making the record and building out the tour. Now, neither side have confirmed the news. AMC Theater CEO recently followed Beyonce on X, sending the Hive into a frenzy. But I can't wait for this one. I think that if this happens, so here's the thing. She's going to make a deal with somebody, whether it's AMC, whether it's one of these streaming services, whatever she does, it is going to be a major, major thing with this just high demand tour, a very successful album. Anything that she touches, it just seems to go far, far, far beyond what the average, right? This is major news, and I am very, very excited for her. I'm happy for the Beehive. Is going to give y'all folks that did not spend the money to go see that tour, did not kick out and shell out the bucks. You're going to have the opportunity for a reasonable price to get to see this exclusive Beyonce package. So I am happy for that. And it just creates opportunities for other artists who are on a certain level to be able to connect with their fans in a unique way. So we're going to keep you posted on that. Beyonce bringing the Renaissance to fans. And this is going to probably come by way of AMC theaters or some streaming service. More than likely, it's going to be AMC theaters. And I think that is a big deal. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. You listen to the Diamond K Radio Show on Fire-TV, Radio on Fire. Of course, I am here weekdays, 6 to 9 p.m. As I said, you can always check us out on demand. You want to get some music to me, djdiamondk at gmail.com. And on all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with more of the show after this.